Here's a few centers I would trade away here in week 2 of the fantasy basketball season. The first guy's Miles Turner of the Indiana Pacers. Turner, so far, it's been a good season for him. And Turner, I like him a lot. I have him in one league. But I don't think he's going to be that great this fantasy basketball season. I know he's getting a lot of block shots right now. In the first game of the season, 8 block shots versus the Knicks. Then versus Chicago, 4 block shots. And then his last game versus Boston, 5. But right now, his scoring and rebounding isn't that great. His first game, 10 and 8. Second game, 9 and 5 at Chicago. And then 10 and 7 versus the Celtics. So right now, his shooting percentage isn't great for a big man. 44, 50, and 30. But right now, the block shots is what's getting him up there. But Turner, I don't know if he's going to be healthy as well. They got a lot of guys over there in Indiana. This is why they're 3-0, I believe. You got Victor Oladipo, Sabonis, Malcolm Brogdon, TJ Warren. So this team's stacked. They got a lot of options. Turner, his points per game and rebounds are probably going to go down. And the way he's blocking shots, with 17 blocks in his first 3 games, he's not going to sustain that. And I think his value is going to go down, so I will look to sell him. The second guy's Karl-Anthony Towns of the Minnesota Timberwolves. So Reddy Towns going down with a dislocated wrist here early in the season. And if I could get something decent for him, I would try to trade him. Towns, he's not going to require surgery, which is a good thing. But a wrist injury, that could linger for weeks or even years, depending how bad the dislocation was. And Towns, he's a stud, no doubt about it, putting up huge numbers each and every season. And this year, so far, he had decent games. The first game versus Detroit, 22 and 11, 60% from the field. Then at Utah, only 31% from the field, 6 for 19, with 16 and 12 and 4 blocks. But now Towns, I think he's going to be out multiple weeks with the injury. And 4 or 5 weeks in the fantasy basketball season, that goes quick. And that could cost you some games and categories. So I think Karl-Anthony Towns, you could still get a decent haul instead of waiting weeks for him to come back at this point. So I would look to pull the trigger and get rid of Towns if it's worth a good deal. The third center I would try to get rid of Jusuf Nurkic of the Portland Trailblazers. Nurkic, he had a crazy injury last season that cost him most of the season. But so far, he's looked decent in the comeback here. And yesterday, a good game versus the Lakers. 10 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists. Versus Houston, 12, 11, and 6 assists. 45% from the field. And then Nurkic, 55% from the field. 13 points, 3 rebounds versus Utah in the first game of the year. Nurkic, he was a high-rated player in most fantasy drafts. Going 4th or 5th round, I've seen him. Even 3rd in some leagues. But Nurkic's a player, I don't think he's going to get a lot of points this season. He's going to average anywhere from 12 to 15. There's a lot of guys over there in Portland who are playing well and could score the basketball, in my opinion, like McCollum, Dame Lillard. We saw Gary Trent Jr. go off last night. Carmelo Anthony, Robert Covington, Nurkic in the points category. He's not going to be great. Enes Kanter's played a little better in fantasy basketball purposes than Nurkic so far. So Nurkic, there's a lot of guys in Portland. He's not going to live up to that 3rd or 4th round value where you took him in your leagues. And right now, if I could package him with someone else and get a big name, I would try to do it. Because I don't think Nurkic is going to help you a lot in the points category. And he's going to be a good rebound and help and assist, but he's not a big shot blocker either for a center. So I would look to sell off Nurkic here. The 4th center I would try to sell off this week's Thomas Bryant of the Washington Wizards. Bryant, he's been decent so far this year for the Wizards, but he's another guy, I don't know if he's going to stay healthy. He's had some decent games, but his rebounding numbers are concerning as well for a center. 10 and 5 in his first game, 19 and 5 in his second game, 16, 7, and 5 assists he added versus Orlando the other night. But Bryant, I don't think he's going to help in 3-pointers. His rebounds aren't great for a center. And right now, he's another center I think I could package with someone and get a better ball player. So you're looking to package guys. You're looking to trade them high here. And that's what I think you could do with Thomas Bryant and Nurkic. More of a package deal and get something better or a player you wanted in the draft but couldn't get. And the 5th and final set to trade away is Mason Plumlee of the Detroit Pistons. Plumlee, he was on my center waiver wire video, so check that out if you need some players to help your teams out. And Plumlee, he's been playing well just like his former teammate and new teammate once again, Jeremiah Grant with the Pistons. And last night versus Atlanta, 9 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 steals. And these are similar numbers Plumlee's been putting up the last few weeks, but his points, they're not going to be up there. Blake Griffin, he didn't play in this game, and he only had 9 points with Plumlee. So the points category, he's only going to be 6 to 10 points a game on average. Rebounds, I'll give him 8 to 10 a game on average, and assists, maybe 3 or 4, which ain't bad for a center, and probably 1 to 1.5 steals a game. So that's not bad. But Plumlee, I don't know if he's going to hold up the whole season as the starter. He's not used to major minutes. In Denver for years, he was only playing 20 to 30 minutes. But now he's playing 35 plus minutes for this Detroit team. And we'll see if he could keep this going. Tonight, another game versus Golden State for Detroit. So we'll see if Plumlee gets going and he could keep it going for fantasy owners. Right now, he's playing well, but this is a sell-high situation, in my opinion, with Plumlee. So that's a few centers I would look to sell high here heading into week 2 of the fantasy basketball season.